You make fighting instructionals on the internet. Given your fight record, I'm assuming none of them explain how to win?
Yeah, you think so, huh?
How does it feel to finally fight somebody with the same record?
Invigorating.
This is Fiorda. He's an amateur fighter, popular combat sports creator, and founder of Free MMA Gyms, a nonprofit that offers self-defense and combat sports training to all ages entirely for free. Today, I'm stepping up to see how long I can last on the mat and if I can get an interview in the process.
That might be another win on his record.
This is Man on the Mat.
Free MMA is a catchy name. Did you land on that because you couldn't call it good or qualified MMA?
Do you ever think if people started paying you might actually start winning fights?
Free MMA Gyms is entirely free.
Yes.
So you don't think you should be charged for hitting kids?
No, and I don't think I should charge the parents to do it either.
I know the trainings were free, but is tipping encouraged?
How much do you want to tip?
Right now, none.
When did you first become passionate about giving children access to brain damage?
So, I think I was 19 or 20 years old, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, I look back and I was actually talking to my mother. She and I opened the program together.
Yeah.
And we thought martial arts gave me such a great balance in life. It helped me deal with trauma, gave me a career path. If nothing else, it made me mentally strong. I look at a lot of kids, especially some of my students come in now and I'll be teaching them and I mean, no offense to them, they kind of give up immediately.
Yeah.
Something hard happens and they're uncomfortable, they start crying. And there's no shame on that, but that's the life experience they've had so far.
Yeah.
And I take it as, okay, I'm really glad we have this program because now I can help you kind of shift that perspective from, it's hard, let's quit and be sad, to, it's hard, if you don't want to do it, fine, but if you're going to be dedicated to this, you're going to have to learn how to jump those hurdles.
Right.
And here's how you can do that. And sometimes it comes across as tough love. Sometimes it comes across as childhood CTE.
Yeah.
But
do you ever think that maybe you taught them that lesson and they got it, and then they get hit too hard and then they forget it? Why is it so important to you to offer this training for free? And has there ever been a time when you've thought about revising that model?
the point of it was always to get free martial arts. I grew up in Desert Hot Springs, one city over, and for a very long time that was a pretty bad city, had a lot of gangs, had a lot of violence, tons. I mean, drugs were super easy to get. And so I'd have friends who trained with me in my Taekwondo school, and then I wouldn't see them anymore because they got into one of those things. And a couple of them actually passed away because of those choices. And so for me and my mother, getting me into martial arts was a way to basically stop that. And while it's not a guarantee, it's a great block in the road for those types of paths. And so I wanted to provide that for anyone who might be struggling. And the only time I've ever considered giving a price point was when people would join the program and then we have a limited space. And I don't know how well they can see this right now, but this isn't a big facility. And so we have limited space here. And what happens is when you sign up for the program, we basically give you a slot. And this is your slot, you're here, you chose to be here on these days at these times for these classes. So if you don't show up, there's an empty space there where someone else can be. And so we end up creating the rule of, hey, if you're a no-show 3 times out of 3 different weeks and you don't tell us where you're going or what's happening, there's no communication, you are cut from that slot. And if you want to come back, it's like a nominal fee of $20 a month.
Okay.
And so that is the only price here at Free MMA. It's free until you up, and now you're in timeout. Now you have a punishment.
What does the average student look like here, and what's the most common motivation for seeking out training?
Average student is a child between the ages of 8 and 11 years old. Motivation, parents want them to do something.
Okay.
They come in here, they have almost no motivation to be here, no reason, like no desire to be here. And the parents are like, this kid has X, Y, and Z issues from either school or at home, or from a different home and they've been rehomed here with us. Or they're not doing anything at home and I need them to be out and more active because they're just putting on weight, or they're not very social, they're recluses. We need to fix that. And so it basically becomes my responsibility of, okay, let's make these kids more social, let's give them some confidence, and let's give them something else to do instead of look at their screens for 7, 8, 9 hours a day. And that's what I love most about martial arts, is that you don't have time to think through sometimes. And in a fight, things are gonna happen, you have to react right now, and you have to be as intelligent as possible about it, make calculated risks. And you'll find that often through life where you're on a deadline, and if you don't figure it out by then, you're kind of SOL. Martial arts gives you the confidence to just take that leap, to make that chance.
To be clear, there's not an age of a child you wouldn't hit.
6 and older.
You ever see a baby in a helmet and think, fair game? So your mother put you in martial arts after your father passed away. Did she figure that if she couldn't hit you, someone should?
It's so much better than I expected. No, I just think that she was my mother and my father. My dad, I love him to death. I love the memory of him at least, but he passed away when I was 5. I have 2 core memories of him. One that may have been a total dream. The other one I know for sure we were playing Legos, and that's what I got. And so to have someone step up to be mother and father, take on that responsibility and really do the best she could, which at times it was hard. There was financial struggle. There was definitely difficulty growing up in an area that was a little bit rough around the edges than others. There's a lot of opportunity for me to get into some real trouble. And she did everything in her power to make sure that I was intelligent, that I knew enough about the world at the time so I wouldn't make poor decisions, or if I did, that I wouldn't go down such a terrible road. And getting me in the martial arts was such a brilliant idea, and it shaped who I am, and I really owe that all to her.
How does your mom feel now that you've had so much success?
She was always supportive of it. It's funny, I never had that that moment of like, well, you really should consider getting a real job, or hey, what's your backup plan? You know, in case this doesn't work, what are you gonna do? A few years down the line, I'm like, hey, I don't know what to do. And she's like, why don't you do something with the 20,000 hours of martial arts I paid for over the last 10, 15 years? What do you want to do with that?
You're a self-described mama's boy. Is that why you spend every video hitting a woman that's not her?
Wouldn't that be like repressed emotions where I really want to hit her and I have to take it out on somebody else?
You try a variety of martial arts techniques out on a woman and rate their effectiveness online. Are they more effective if she can't call the police?
It takes time to call the police.
Here you go. Oh boy. Oh my. Oh, okay.
You're willing to train anyone for free, meaning you're willing to hit anyone for free. What do you have in common with my Uncle Doug after 3 beers? Should he be considered nonprofit?
My techniques are proven by former and current UFC champions. So it's not like just an open ham slap toss like as I'm stumbling over from my 3rd bottle on the floor, you know.
He keeps balance pretty well.
Does he?
I mean, that's why we let him drive. We're like, you get out of here, you know what I mean? That's
you can take yourself home.
Ooh, I doing it again. Oh no.
You started competing at 205 pounds, but now you compete at 170 pounds. Are you fighting people or an eating disorder?
I am always fighting eating disorder. If I was not in martial arts in any way, I'd be morbidly obese.
You fight at 185?
Yeah.
How close are you to that right now?
30 pounds off.
30 pounds on. What's that, on knee pads?
They say those who can't do teach.
Is there a part 2 to that question?
I just want to see if you agree.
Just want to see if I agree with that.
Ooh, single leg, but head on the outside. Head position is what you need right now.
Hands or head?
Head. Forehead on the face.
I think I was teaching as we go.
You've had incredible success online, becoming one of the top creators in combat sports space, despite having a less than stellar, competition record. How do you deal with that juxtaposition, and is your authority ever questioned online for it?
All the time, and I used to ignore it. I would go on live streams, and the moment someone brought up the comment, I would ignore it entirely. And then if they continue to bring up the comment, I'd be like, oh, bad service guys, gotta go, because I wasn't confident enough to deal with it. And now I basically make fun of it. I laugh about it, I tell them about it, I tell them about my experiences, and here's the reality. I started in 2016-ish, and I didn't know how to do cage fighting. I took 3 fights without any formal training. And so I got battered immediately. I won 2 of them basically by luck. And then I went on this huge streak of like no wins, no good fights, nothing. And then I got to Dan Henderson's gym in about 21. I had a okay fight where the guy was a better wrestler than me. So if you look back at the footage, and I've done a breakdown of the footage so you can see it on my YouTube channel, I took the fight to the guy, I was beating him on the feet, he would take me down, he got a higher score for ground control. Like, all right, that sucks, but it is what it is. So if you treat loss like a lesson, you will come out far better than if you genuinely internalize it as, there's something wrong with you now.
Yeah. So there's a theory that younger people are less inclined to try something new for fear that they may be filmed in an increasingly online world. As someone with so much available about themselves online, both good and bad, what advice do you have for the younger generation?
In today's world, the internet is forever, but people's mentality, their memory is not. Understand that it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
It's gonna go away in the sense that people are not gonna be paying attention to it in a week, less depending on what it is, and so it's not going to matter.
Hey guys. Oh, this is insulting. Get your plugs out now, man. I'm cutting this out of the episode.
Don't guide your life based on what other people may or may not do or think or say.
Yeah.
Live your life, write your story, and let them be, in your story as side characters. Don't end up living a part of someone else's.
If people want to listen to you more, where can we find you?
Bear Fiorda, free MMA gyms. Bear the goods if you want some life advice. Tune in BTS if you just want some laughs about Hollywood and entertainment. There's a lot of places to listen to me.
Thank you so much for doing it.
For having me.
Appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, hit me in the face.
I'm gonna try. We'll see how that goes.